Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 2. This is the third last episode of the season. This one is for episode 13, Date of Death. And spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen Date of Death yet, this was another amazing episode for me. I mean, right up until the end, especially with the pretty nice twist at the end, which I did not see coming, and pretty much nobody else, had predicted that in comments either in the Q&As this week or anything that we would see that. Some people do think that Chris will be killed off in the finale. And up until now, I didn't see that because I was thinking that they would have Chris kind of leave for a while, maybe come back into the story later. As we got to see here at the end of the episode, like I said, major spoiler warning, that's not the case. So I'm not exactly sure what happened with Chris, Brandon, and is it Troy? So their mini group there. It seems like they went to leave to go to San Diego. Maybe they couldn't get through the border and they got stuck, and then they saw the hotel lights just like everybody else did, and decided to go there, like Travis and all the other people that were there, and decided to head over there. Man, this really sets up. This is a great setup for the finale in terms of this episode. I mean, this takes us from kind of where we were, where we couldn't really see too much in the double finale episodes 14 and 15, which will be next Sunday. What was going to happen for it, and kind of it's pretty hard to kind of see where they're going with it before this episode. Now it's not so hard. There's all kinds of crazy things happening. We have the 2 episodes left, and I'm expecting them to be quite impressive because after this setup, I would think that they would be. This was a great episode. In terms of the psychology of it, this one's really deep. This one reminded me most of Walking Dead Season 2, where you have kind of the Shane and Rick thing that's going on. This would, I would say, almost kind of rival that, except we have it with Chris and his father. So you have kind of the family drama that's going on, and this was extremely dramatic. You have Travis, who he blames himself for what Chris has become. I like Travis a lot. Probably my favorite character in the series at this point. Really, really good guy, and smart too. Travis is smart enough as a teacher and understanding development enough to know that him leaving the marriage, or him kind of starting a new family and things not working out between him and Liza, he blames himself personally for what Chris has become. And that is something that's very interesting. Is what makes up a person, what makes up a personality. How is somebody like Chris created? Somebody who doesn't, and I love the scene, where Travis is getting a little physical with him, and kind of slaps the beer out of his hands, this kind of stuff. At least lose your appetite. At least feel some remorse for what happened. And then Chris, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, And then he kind of brings up kind of some of his underlying pain. He talks a little bit about football guys and being bullied in school, this kind of thing. You can definitely see that. I mean, if you look back to the first season, especially with the hair and stuff, you could see him being bullied in school, that kind of deal. But I really love the character dynamics of this one, because you have Travis, really, really good guy, and then you have Chris, who doesn't give a shit, really doesn't give a shit. And Travis is trying to bring it out of him, and there's just nothing. There's just absolutely nothing. Then we get into the part with Brandon, and we have James. I believe it's James. So James has been shot right through the thigh. He sees himself as dead weight. He kind of knows the guys that he's with in the group. He knows what they are. He knows who they are and what they do. But based on what's happened before, and him having to put down the other member of the group prior. So, the sequence, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I thought psychologically it was profound. It was an interesting kind of character study, so to speak. And, it brings in some of these kind of questions of what makes a person who they are. What makes a person who, goes down the wrong path. In this one we see, which happens in the real world as well, too, you have parents. Parents want to do right by their kids. Travis is a successful man. He's a good man. He helps people. He's an educator, which is something that's, that in and of itself is its own reward, a fantastic occupation, teaching people, helping people get better, helping them improve themselves, and just take society to another level. That's what teachers do. Teachers take people, if you look at it from the time you're a kid, they take you through school. They take you to another level. Then the onus is on you, if you want to go to college, university, or whatever, to improve yourself as well, afterwards. But I love Travis. I think he's a great, great character, and he's smart enough to know that he feels partially responsible for what has happened to Chris, his son. So, I absolutely love that. He's dealing with the guilt afterwards. You have them as polar opposites. You have Travis, very, very strong superego, feels a lot of guilt for what has happened to Chris, feels personally responsible, owns it. And the superego starts to thrash the id, so he starts to, in the shower, he's having trouble, he's not eating, he's feeling a lot of guilt himself for what has happened to Chris and what Chris has become. Chris, the exact opposite, feels none, embraces it, loves it, gets fully into it. And even in the real world, you have maybe teenagers or people in the early 20s, sometimes they'll leave their family for a gang or stuff like this. I think this one had some really good parallels with these type of events that happen in real life. Only in a zombie apocalypse, it could definitely be a catalyst for something like that happening, to have somebody do something like that. So Chris sees himself as adapting more quickly, as adapting and as better, and throws out the whole notion of good or bad, throws out the entire thing, and just kind of embraces the do whatever he wants to do. He's going to go ahead and he's going to do whatever he wants. So kill, whatever, doesn't matter, no big deal, doesn't feel bad about it. And then the opposite, you have Travis, digging the grave, everything like that, putting the date of death, his name, trying to trigger Chris to feel something, and there's just nothing there. Then you have a character like Brandon, who's probably even worse than Chris, killing his friend when really it wasn't necessary, didn't need to happen. They could have stayed a little longer, wouldn't really have mattered. They eat all the chickens. Idiots, right? When they had a renewable food source, they had the eggs, and like Travis says, because again, Travis is very smart, we should be eating the eggs, we shouldn't be eating the chickens. So that's exactly what I said in my review of that episode, the prior episode, when they were doing that, when they started to do that. So to keep it simple, I loved all of it. It was all really, really interesting psychologically. It was great stuff. And a very, sad scene when Chris leaves with the gang. So I'm going to call it a gang. It's like a gang. He leaves the home with the gang. He leaves his father behind. Probably, I would say, due to underlying pain of what happened. But then again, you get kind of that's very argumentative, objective psychology versus phenomenological, and people having a choice. Just to keep it real simple for you guys, you can have one person that can go through all kinds of painful events and still be a good person and still do right by their family, by their parents, and still end up being good contributors to society. You can have somebody that goes through the same thing and then they end up being a gang member, or get into trouble and be a nuisance to society, a menace to society, so to speak. That's a funny movie, by the way. So I loved everything they did with it. It was fantastic. I thought it was great. It was awesome drama, very psychological, and you guys know I love all that stuff when we get to see stuff like that. So then we have the other part of the episode. We have the hotel. We have Travis who gets there. They let him in, and it seems like the other people are all gone. So it seems like they've at least let in them to help them or to do something with them. We have Alicia and the others kind of helping out and trying to get them at least set on their way. But it seems that maybe not all of them will be able to stay. You get questions of, are they going to be able to pull their own weight? Do they have enough food? Do they have enough water? Are they going to be able to handle this? And at the end, we have, our gang, so to speak, led by Brandon with Chris and Troy, I believe. They ride in with something up their sleeve, possibly. So we'll see what happens with that. Man, awesome stuff. We also had the scene with Alicia and Madison, which I felt was a little unnecessary unless they're going to kill Alicia off in the finale. This was a prediction I did in the Death Predictions video. If you guys missed it, it's in the channel. Just look, there's a picture of Alicia behind the glass and zombies coming at her, this kind of thing. If they're not going to kill off either Alicia or Madison, the scene doesn't really make sense to me. I do think that that's a great prediction, that we could see her be killed off. We could see Alicia be killed off. And, of course, Chris is in the mix now, too. And we know what happened with them prior. And so, maybe could she be killed off? Could, it seems like maybe there's some setup for that. Or could Chris be killed off in the finale? I think either way, at least somebody, somebody's going to die. Who it is, it's pretty tough to say. You guys could write it in the comments below. We'll do some Q&As for this week, so send me your questions for the continued Q&As. awesome setup for the finale. What do you guys think is going to happen now? Man, what a really, really good episode. I might have to say this is the best episode of this half, at least for me, because I love to see the psychology behind things. I love to see the drama, and I think they did a really great job of using Chris after the season 1 finale, losing his mother, and experiencing that level of pain, increasing the aggressive drive, increasing everything else that's going on with him. Catalyst of wanting to be accepted by this new group, a gang. Awesome development all the way through. Fits in perfectly psychologically with many profiles you can compare to, and even in real life. And now has become, as with Brandon, at least with regards to the hotel group, our antagonist. So awesome stuff. I'm going to give this episode a 9.3. I thought it was awesome. Really excited for the finale. Can't wait for next weekend. Going to see who's going to make it. Is it going to be Alicia, like a lot of us are predicting? Is it going to be Chris? Is it going to be both? Oh man, write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And if you like the video, please, guys, dudes, man, thumb it the hell up below. You can also share. You got a Facebook. I know you got a Facebook. You all got Facebook. Share it through to Facebook, damn it. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left, click the button to subscribe. Be back in an hour for the predictions video for what I think is going to happen in our double finale. This should be fun. So you guys can write yours below. Write your questions for the Q&A. Awesome episode, guys. I hope you liked it. I loved it. And man, awesome. Really, Travis stand out for me as my favorite character for sure. Probably because I see a lot of myself in Travis. That's probably why. So anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I'll see you again in about an hour. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.